Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This video will be about the conjunction between Jupiter and Mars and Uranus. Actually, the more exact tight conjunction will be between Mars and Uranus. As you know, as I announced also, according to the sidereal zodiac, Uranus entered Taurus on 18th of June and will stay there 7 years. And as you know, this is great, big deal, big deal. This will influence our reality a lot. And now as we speak, Uranus is in the vicinity of the star Algol. I also made separate video about that. And now on the 14th of July, Mars is entering Taurus, and they will both form conjunction. So they will be in a very close proximity with each other. Also, when Mars will enter Taurus, Jupiter is already in Taurus, which he entered in May. And Jupiter will stay in Taurus 1 year. So the situation is that we will have closed conjunction between Uranus and Mars, and also conjunction, but not that tight, between Uranus, Mars, and Jupiter. And this is big thing. Indeed, I see this as quite mighty conjunction. So I will describe to you how I see this conjunction to be able to influence our lives. It will certainly have some impact on us, on our reality. And briefly, maybe we look at the 12 ascendants, but again, this will be quite general, because if we want to see specifically what will happen to us, we need to see the horoscope of each and every person separately. Now, of course, just to remind to you, I'm looking from the perspective of the ancient Babylonian sidereal astrology, and sidereal literally means what above, so below. What really, really, literally happens on the sky, to a degree exact, it is what we see. Sidereal means starry. This is what we see in the horoscope. Exactly as it is above, so it is in the horoscope. Like at the moment of your birth, let's say, if you had ascendant in the 20 degrees Taurus, this is what we see. Taurus would be rising at the moment of your birth on the eastern horizon, your ascendant. So, saying this, if you like, take a look at my previous video. I quite to detail, maybe. Of course, you can always say more, but I gave special attention to Uranus and the energy of Uranus. And now I also spoke about Uranus with Algol, and now Mars is entering. Just to remind to you, Mars and Uranus are considered malefic, not benevolent planets. But what I understand more and more with my experience with people's horoscopes, but also researching, is that how exactly the planets influence you truly depends on your vibration. The higher we develop, the higher we vibrate, the best, the purest frequencies of the planets we receive. And I read yesterday something very surprising. I felt I have to share this with you because it's quite important. As you know, I often quote the work of the master being Sedunu, Peter Dunov, who came to introduce us, to prepare us, to give us the formulas and the prayers for the era of Aquarius. Master being Sadunu. So he was also a great astrologer, and he thought he trained astrologers around him, and some of them they have books, and they shared some of his teachings, amazing things. And one of him, was describing the horoscope of Jesus Christ, and he was quoting conversation with the master being Sadunu. And so it's something like that. I will just briefly summarize. he said to being Sidon, so I believe the horoscope of Jesus Christ was only trines, just was only a harmonious aspect because he was just the illustration of perfection, And Besidanu said, no, 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 you will be surprised, but his horoscope has only squares. Why? Because the squares have the most potent, the most powerful energy. He said more powerful than the trines, because the squares are the ones who really help you in your evolution. The squares. So you can truly, the higher your frequency, the higher your vibration, you can truly benefit from the squares in your lifetime. Of course, the squares will illustrate the hardships. And then he gave this very interesting example. He spoke about when Jesus Christ chased away the traders from the temple. And he said this is the pure illustration of aspect between square between Uranus and Mars. He couldn't stand injustice. And see, this I felt is very, very important. Yes, speaking about not harmonious aspects, this may or may not be that disharmonious Uranus, Mars in conjunction. Of course, they are malefic planets, but it depends. You see, the more we understand astrology, the more we are changing, at least I do, my perceptions towards benevolent and malevolent and malefic planets. It depends on the frequencies, depends on the growth, the spiritual growth of the person, and I see this more and more in the horoscopes. So anyway, Uranus and Mars are meeting in the vicinity of Algol, and like I mentioned in my previous video, Algol will be visible at that time, because this is a binary star. I have 2 videos on that. Which star during the 3 days of invisibility becomes very, very difficult, very tricky, very malefic, and this is not going to be the case now. Another thing, Algol is, according to Hermes, star of money. Algol is in the first degrees of Sidereal Taurus. This is the Medusa Gorgona. Al-Ghul in Arabic is something terrible. It is bad spirit. So, people are terrified by this star. I am honestly not sharing entirely this opinion, because Algol, if you really, again, we're talking about vibrations. If you really understand properly the star, if the star is not invisible, then you can benefit from the star to give you the most amazing protection, because this is what the star gave on the sky. This is the meaning of the star Algol. The protective head of the Medusa Gorgona later was made into this shield, which Erida, which was used by Athena. Later Athena gave it to Jupiter, but this story you can find everywhere. So Algol, the star of money, the star which is about the head, because it's about the decapitated head decapitation. Symbolically, of course, 2 malefic planets meet there. It could mean great change. It could mean worldwide that leaders, nowadays we don't have real leaders, but what else can I say? Maybe, I don't know how to call them, because this profession became very, very shameful. So, let's say these ones that pretend to be leaders, some heads will fall. You will see great change. And this is happening in Taurus. This is the second house of the zodiac, which is ruling also finances, among many other things. So we will see worldwide sudden shifts, changes related to rulership. Yeah, rulers is maybe better. not leaders. So changes, some heads would truly fall. Big change in the world's governments, and this started. I saw somebody speaking. It was a political, I think, speech. How the rulerships everywhere just fall, but this is also because Uranus is already conjoined. Already at the moment of his entrance into Taurus, he formed conjunction with Algol, because Algol is in the first, second degrees of Taurus. So changes in the heads fall. You see still a lot now, even more sudden, more evident, maybe ugly. This is one thing worldwide. Of course, how this conjunction will work on us, this is more important, because this theater they play, I think most of us already don't want to know about this, but how this will influence most of us depart from the fact that you have to be very wise, very spiritual, vibrate high. How? Avoid fears and worries from this conjunction and from any other thing. Because when Uranus and Mars and also Jupiter will be in Taurus, and I forgot to tell you, Mars is entering Taurus on the 14th of July, sidereal coordinates, and will leave end of August. And this conjunction may have impact for the next 15 to 17 months, because this is basically the cycle of Mars. So, see, I tried to say many things and then I I made a. So Mars and Uranus in conjunction, you see in the second house of the zodiac. Yes, this is related to financial system. You will see how this will bring sudden changes related to finances. But this can have impact on the food industry in general, on art, not in a bad sense. But like I started, and I want to make big bracket about this again, how this will influence you. Try not to be afraid, because when this conjunction is happening, Saturn is making a square, and this is a recipe for fear, a recipe for worry, a recipe for panic. So absolutely don't worry, because if this is meant to happen, if this conjunction is written on the sky with the language of astrology, it means it is allowed by the Creator and it's for good. And remember, I told you what the Master Prince Adunu said. Jesus Christ has only squares in his horoscope. This is something very productive. This is something that will bring us to our further spiritual growth. It will be something good, but to catch the good energies of this, and to benefit, really to benefit, and to get only good events out of this, and not sudden hardships, sudden changes in your status quo, in your reality. You need to be like almost fifth level of nirvana, very, very calm, very wise, very spiritual, not worried at all. Just say, I will get the most of this, I will get the most practical of this, because this is also conjunction of practicality. This will teach us to be very practical, to be very to react appropriately for the current situation. So Uranus in Taurus, like I described in the previous video, is something unique, and we cannot say Uranus is fallen, Uranus is detriment, because he is welcome everywhere due to his very high hierarchy. That's why I don't feel comfortable when we describe the trans-Saturnian planets as somewhere exalted or anywhere else fallen. He is there at home because he's everywhere at home to bring the changes. Money. Now also, if you manage really to remain very wise, very patient, very calm, and really waiting with really good expectations, this you may even have financial very good results. This can give you really wealth even, because also Jupiter is there, and Jupiter Mars conjunction is something which is very mighty. It truly is associated well with power and wealth. And it's something very good. And Uranus there will help towards fast, sudden change, but not into something bad. But depends on us really. And the more we understand this, the more in charge we are becoming of our horoscopes. And so this would be very, can be very, very useful for you actually. So, to start with the placement of Mars in Taurus. As you know, classically Mars in Taurus is fallen, detriment, because Taurus is against the sign which Mars is ruling, which is Scorpio. So, what kind of behavior we can expect from Mars in Taurus actually, again, depends on your perceptions, on your vibrations. Mars in Taurus actually can be influenced by the Venus energy of Taurus and can become even more peace oriented than war oriented. But as we notice globally, when we look from the perspective of the mundane astrology, how these placements influence us in the whole world, usually we do not really uh, connect with the highest vibrations, and Mars in Taurus is not comfortable enough, and he can also be related to a lack of peace. But when Mars is in Taurus, and when we know that Taurus also is associated with beauty, with peace, with the best of the Venus energies, with people who have Mars in Taurus in the horoscopes oftentimes appreciate beauty. They are very much connected with art. They appreciate good food. They appreciate design. They enjoy beauty and design. And so this can be one of the features of Mars in Taurus. It's not necessarily about war, but because we know that he's detriment in Taurus, we cannot expect from him to the best of his qualities. Uranus in Taurus we discussed, and now both are conjoining in the first degrees of Taurus. And I really choose in this video to look at the possibilities of this conjunction when I also include the presence of Jupiter in Taurus, and not to forget the square which Saturn is making. I would like to look at this particular placement from a little bit higher perspective, meaning the perspective of better, higher frequencies, vibrations, because the more we understand things, the more we understand astrology, the more we understand our own placements, the better we perceive the influences of the planets. So, saying this, I don't know if I should get into more detail. You know the energy of Algol, star of money. You know in general the gorgeous energy and the powerful energy of Taurus, where you have one of the four royal stars, Aldebaran. Taurus is a lot about money. It is a lot about power. And you know that in Taurus, in Aquarius, in Scorpio, and in Leo, we have the four royal stars which form the cross. So we're talking about mighty influences here. And Uranus is there to have impact on these mighty influences for the world, for us. So let's get these influences. Therefore, this triple conjunction can really result in sudden financial shifts for good. Some people can really become wealthy as a result of this conjunction. Of course, depends on the potentials of their horoscope. If wealth is in the horoscope, this is also important. Saying this, to repeat, Mars is entering Taurus on the 14th of July. On the 12th of August, Mars and Jupiter are forming another important exact tight conjunction, and Mars is leaving Taurus end of August. So we are having influences for the whole month of August, also now July, and these energies can have impact on our lives for approximately 15 to 17 months ahead because of the cycle of Mars. And these energies can be very productive because this is the Taurus energy, can really change your view on finances, on working with finances, financial markets, also on art, on talents, and you can really benefit from this conjunction. So, saying this summary, I would like to look at the 12 ascendants briefly because, as you know, these details around these particular influences can be seen in each and every people's horoscope. So, as usual, we will look at from sidereal perspective, but I will give you also the tropical perspective for people who prefer to use the more modern, the tropical zodiac. So we are starting with people who have sidereal ascendant Aries or moon in Aries, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Taurus for you. And as usual, if you do not know the time of your birth, you can always derive your horoscope from the moon. You can get pretty good results too. So people who have sidereal ascendant Aries, Mars is ruling you. So because he rules your ascendant, so every movement of Mars is very important. So Mars is leaving your ascendant where he was to give you to give you these good energies which the Martial people actually benefit from. And now he's leaving and he will be in your second house until end of August. And he will be forming this conjunction between Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus. And this will be important. This can change a little bit your focus more if you were a little bit more focused on yourself while Mars was on your ascendant. You can focus on family roots, you can focus on finances, and you can actually get pretty good results. Just make sure that because Mars and Uranus are two malefic planets, make sure that you don't make impulsive decisions, that you really are very wise, very patient, and you apply intuition. This is very important with Mars in Taurus. You can get very good results. Make sure that you also apply the structure of Saturn, discipline structure, which Saturn will impose on you. If you don't apply it, it will be imposed on you because Saturn is squaring even by sign, it's not tight square, but still Saturn is making a square to Mars, Uranus, and Jupiter. So you can get financial changes for sure. You can even get good financial results, but be careful, be structured, be organized, and be very disciplined in your work. Now, also, you can use this to improve relationships with family members. And now we have people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus or moon in Taurus. If you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Gemini. For you, this conjunction starting from the 14th in 3 days, 14th of July, is taking place right on your ascendant. This is important. This can be very positive for you because this can bring sudden shifts in your own perspectives, in your own goals, in your own plans. Of course, be careful because this is very strong energy, can have impact on your relationships, be it in romantic, in a private sense, but be it also in business sense. You have to be very structured. Why I say structured and careful and organized and disciplined? Because Saturn from Aquarius, from your 10th house, is forming a square. So you can truly benefit from this, but you may need to be very organized, really, and very truthful, because this is Saturn who influences. So this can be very good also in terms of achievements, also financially, but you may need to be careful, diplomatic, loving with your partner, careful with partnerships, and also very organized. But this will certainly mean sudden shift in your perceptions and so in your plans. And now we have people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini or moon in Gemini, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Cancer. For you, this particular conjunction is taking place on your 12th house. This can be beneficial in terms of, you know, if you are interested in healing, in medicine, in doing work to help others, having like mission in this lifetime to help others, to do something for the society. Actually, you can have very good results in finding out truth, knowledge about health. This can have great impact on your consciousness, on your spiritual development, spiritual awakening, through discipline in studies, through following certain new education line, and so studies, or through people who can give you foreign knowledge, or through people which are abroad. So you can have very good results. This can also have impact on your health. Try to be very spiritual, not afraid, and really get good information for your own health, for your own healing too. If you're worried, if you're afraid, this vibration can be lower, and they can have impact on your health a little bit. So you may need to be careful. And now people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer or moon in Cancer, and if you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Leo. Now this conjunction is taking place in your 11th house, house of the good spirit. Not bad, can have impact on finances, on connections, people who are important for you in your life, friendships, but can give you very good connections, very good financial results. Saturn from the 8th house is squaring. He requires deep knowledge. He requires, because this 8th house is house of Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, who is the master of truth. If, for example, we are not truthful in this lifetime, the biggest lessons we will get from Pluto. So, like, you can benefit from this conjunction in your 11th house and get good financial results through being very truthful, very decent, very moral, also with partners, because the 8th house is also related to the finances of partners via partnership, but you can truly get good results. Also, in terms of communication with children, be a little bit more, careful, patient. And now we look at people with sidereal ascendant Leo or moon in Leo, or if you follow in modern tropical astrology, this would be Virgo. For you, this conjunction is taking place on your 10th house. Certainly, this will mean big changes in your career plans, good results you can get through, again, loyalty with your partners, business partner, or your romantic partner, because Saturn is squaring from your 7th house. Like, be decent, be loyal, be very careful, follow the moral rules, and so, because you can get really very good changes and sudden shifts in your career, you can really plan new career development, because, and the faster you plan it, the better, then you are ahead in time. So, and now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Libra. For you, this conjunction is taking place on your 9th house. Certainly positive, because this is trine in your ascendant. This would mean that you may experience changes related to your education, sudden shift in your belief system, studies. You can really change, and this can be very benevolent. Like, you would say, oh, finally I found my true purpose, I found really the knowledge that I've been searching for, or I chose the right study for myself now. This can be the way. Or you can have great connections with people abroad who can be also very beneficial for you. In the meantime, because of Saturn in the 6th house, make sure that you're very disciplined, very well organized, and be careful, stay away from disputes, conflicts, and so. And now we have people who have sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or if you follow in modern tropical astrology, this is Scorpio. For you, this conjunction takes place on your 8th house. This can give you very good results or just sudden shifts related to money via partnerships or the finances of your partner. Also, make sure to apply, to be very creative, to be very um, you know, to apply creative knowledge, to structure your knowledge because of Saturn squaring from the 5th house. But this can truly mean results, financial, and a lot of knowledge, new knowledge that you can find for yourself, and financial results through the partner or via partnerships. Very, very possibly this to be positive for you. But there will be shift most probably. And now we look at people with sidereal ascendant Scorpio or moon in Scorpio, or if you follow in the modern tropical astrology, this is Sagittarius. Now for you, this particular conjunction is taking place on your 7th house. Because 7th house is your romantic partner, your marriage, but also partnerships in a business sense. You may have shift and change there. So be more patient, careful, intuitive, diplomatic with your romantic partner in marriage, but also business partners too, because this can bring shift, like this can bring changes in relationships with business partners too. So you may need to be very careful, diplomatic, especially until end of August. In the meantime, Saturn is squaring from your 4th house. This is, he requires discipline, careful approach to business, patient approach to your partner, to your romantic partner, and so. But in general, you may have shifts related to career, to business, and planning your business, planning your partnerships with people, and so. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Sagittarius or moon in Sagittarius, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Capricorn. For you, this conjunction takes place on your 6th house, receives a square from Saturn in the 3rd. So make sure that you stay away from conflicts, disputes, that you take good care of your health. Make sure that you watch out for your communication, your strategy, your negotiation plans, because Saturn is squaring from your 3rd house. This conjunction can be benevolent, can bring sudden changes in your routine, in the way you plan your work, the way you approach health. So be responsible for your health, and disciplined approach towards your work is the most appropriate thing because of the square of Saturn. But you can have really shift in your 6th house matters. Your routine may change, work also, job, the job that you do, may your choices, you can say, now I want to totally to change my day, the way I do my work. Oh, this is very, very possible. But make sure that you watch out for your communication, for the moral in your communication, and make sure you're very organized. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn or moon in Capricorn. If you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Aquarius. For you, your ruler Saturn is in the 2nd house, and this conjunction takes place in your 5th. Now, in your 5th house, this conjunction, 5th house is the house of the good fortune, exactly, opening to lucky finances, opening to creative work, to talented work, to this can be something quite benevolent. Financial changes, watch out a little bit how you communicate with your children, but financial changes, you can say also, oh, I found exactly the creative knowledge, the study I've been searching for. Or you can say, yes, financial new ideas and new changes can also be very possible. And I will look at people who have sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius, or if you follow in modern tropical astrology, this is Pisces. Saturn is on your ascendant, where he will be until late December of 2025. In addition, this conjunction is taking place in your fourth house. This is what possible changes in your property, house, real estate, deals. Oh, be more careful with parents, how you communicate with them. But this can mean big changes related to, in general, to property, purchasing, selling your own house, relocations, very possible. And also this can have impact on your career, also changes there. And make sure that you're kind and careful with your parents and their health. And now people who have sidereal ascendant Pisces or moon in Pisces, or if you follow with modern tropical astrology, this is Aries. For you, this conjunction takes place on your third house, study, communication, relationship with brothers and sisters. You can have very interesting shifts there. Let's say you can choose study to change your study plan, study subject. You can decide to travel. You can say this can have impact on relationship with brothers and sisters for good. Like you can say now things will go on the next level. I will not be, let's say, in a conflict with my brothers and sisters. I will have more spiritual, more patient approach, because this is about sudden change, Uranus, Mars in Taurus, which is quite peaceful. In the meantime, Saturn is squaring from your 12th house, so make sure that you're very moral, that you help others, that you absolutely do some good work for the poor, for the temple, for the sick. This will be very good for your success if you want, to do good for others, and make sure that you're responsible for your health. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this was interesting for you, useful, and see you very soon with my next video. Thank you so much.